This is the video where we finally get a whole room complete on our bus conversion. I think the bathroom is going to officially be the first room that is finished from start to finish. Sam and I are tackling none other than our bathroom, and by the end of this video, and by the time we're done, we will have a fully functional bathroom, which will be the final piece to being fully self-contained in our tiny home on wheels. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, and stay tuned to see this blue room transform into a stunning bathroom worth visiting.
Well, you can go pee in it now.
We are beginning the week by installing our shower base.
A little box.
Yeah, a little shelf for our stuff.
Very cute.
The shower cartridge is officially on its way here and should hopefully arrive in a couple of days, if not by the end of the week. So we are finally tackling the shower. You saw Sam siliconing and putting in the border around our shower base. This is going to help water to stay in the shower if there's ever an overflow, but also create a space where we can store things like shampoos or anything like that, which is really exciting. So the next part is to finish waterproofing everything, to install the actual shower head and things like that, and finally connect everything once that part finally comes. It has only literally been like a month. A month! We are...
Resting.
No. We are...
Sitting. I don't know, what do you want from me?
sick of it.
We're sick of it. We're sick of it. I'm ready to live.
The next step in the process was installing the shower head. This is a second-hand shower head pulled out from someone's home during a renovation, and we cannot wait to finally have it working in our own shower.
We're good. That's it.
Wow.
We have a shower.
Well,
Well, we're ready to have a shower when the shower comes. I mean, I still do have to put the curtain up, but
looks good.
getting
Plenty of
there.
headroom.
Yeah, lots of headroom. I don't want to stand there because I've still got wet silicone everywhere.
The other day, Sam spent a bit of time putting our shower on. Our cartridge should hopefully be coming in the next few days, so that'll actually be installed properly. I think the bathroom is going to officially be the first room that is finished from start to finish. Perhaps not working completely, but it'll at least look finished. So today I'm starting that process by priming all the walls and getting our paint on. Primer's all done. Let's just acknowledge the difference it makes to the color of the video and the room and how bright it is. Color really has such a big impact on not only the mood in a room, but like how lit up it is. And we definitely want a bright bathroom given how small the space is. The color we're going to end up with in here is kind of like a seashell sandy, like sandy color. I'm like, yellow? Is that the right color? But yeah, so that's the color that's going to end up being in here. There's going to be copper flooring down here, and I'll show you guys my plan for that. I'm actually really excited for what this is going to turn into with the resources we have available, because I've collected a bunch of seashells, I've collected driftwood, and now I have been given a huge bag of bottle caps, which I'm going to spray paint and use on the floor, probably the splashback in the kitchen as well, and depending on how far it goes, perhaps even in the shower. So we'll kind of just play around and see what this space transforms into. You want the ones that are bent out of shape?
No.
Like these ones?
Many more to go.
All done. I love the colour. It's so beautiful. So now that the walls are painted, there'll be one more coat that goes on tomorrow when we're back from Melbourne. We're going for a quick little Mother's Day dinner trip. Yeah, I'll put the next coat on and then we can start thinking about shower curtains and flooring.
Zero motivation. Was not feeling good. And then the FedEx truck rocked up.
Is it the cartridge?
I believe so.
You wanna open it?
Fuck open it. How many weeks?
Too long.
Alright, we're gonna open it immediately to make sure it's not broken. Reese already took photos of it.
Good.
Because they were like, they want to make sure it's still alright when it leaves their place. Oh my god. I think it's it. It's okay. It's fine.
Hot water.
Hot water. Dishwasher. So the first sign that this is going to work is when I first installed this, when I lift this up, it was not able to even hold up the weight of the handle and it would just drop back down. Now it's actually staying open. So
That's positive.
let's put the shower head on. Alright.
With the shower head and mixer installed, Sam got to work installing our shower curtain, while I focused on more crafty work with my bottle caps. How much fabric do you want?
You want a little bit more than that, I think. Cool.
Yes. I've just measured out how the bottle caps fit in a row on all of the spaces that I want to cover. And now I'm actually going to pack each of them with a little bit of cardboard using some super glue, so then I don't have to use quite so much adhesive to get them to stick to the floor and the walls. By packing them out, they kind of become more solid, and I think hopefully it should work.
So we had this really frustrating thing happen when we connected the water. The dishwasher, we ran it, and it took ages, and like when I opened it up, the unit was just full of water. It wasn't draining, and so we'd been keeping the dishwasher outside while we were staying at our previous location. So, you know, and there was a bit of gunk in the bottom. We figured that maybe some bugs had gotten into the line and blocked the dishwasher. So today's job was to pull that out, clean the dishwasher out, clean the drainage tube. And as I'm unplugging it, I've realized that this was a massive dough moment. I haven't drilled out the inlet on the drain pipe PVC. So there's like an inlet that you plug it onto, but that by default is a closed off point and you have to drill it open to be able to drain into that hole. And that is why we're not draining. So I'm glad I figured that out before I pulled out the dishwasher and cleaned the whole thing, because now I can just drill that hole out, plug it in, run the system empty with no dishes in it, and it should work. Should. That is the sweet sound of a pump and dishwasher doing their job and draining. That I thought was going to be a much bigger job than it ended up being. So glad I realized that.
I only had to hand wash like a peasant for 3 days until he finally got around to looking at it. Lucky I'm getting real efficient.
It was now time to tile the bathroom. I laid out my pattern beforehand and marked out all the pieces that would need to be cut. Most of this bathroom is super experimental and a lot of it is my things to do, which in a way is very terrifying. But while I wait for Sam to get a couple of tools for us to get the tiles on the floor finished, I'm going to start thinking about the mural that I want to make on the back wall of the shower and the bathroom in general. I've mentioned before that I have a bunch of bottle caps that I have spray painted and cleaned up, put in some cardboard to fill in the space within them, and now I'm planning on using them in the bathroom. At first I was going to use them on the floor, but most of them were going to get covered up by the rug, so I didn't want to waste that feature on something that wouldn't be seen. So instead, I think I'm going to use them on the walls and create like a mural. Create like a tree mural with the bottle caps along the back wall. Now, the thing that's kind of stopping me and making me hesitate a bit is the fact that I'm going to have to grout after I stick everything on, and I'm not sure where to start the grout and stop it, but I think the idea of the grout is that it only fills in the space within the tiles or within the gaps and the artwork itself rather than the outside edges. And I think you just clean up the outside edges. So I'm kind of going to go with that idea and hope for the best. So wish me luck. So I'm thinking something a little like this. And perhaps going along the whole wall. Not sure yet. At first, we were terrified to cut the tiles, but Sam found it easier than expected using the grinder and a disc meant for cutting ceramic. I went ahead and started laying the tile on the floor. I chose to go for these tiles as they were second-hand and came up to the same height as our flooring throughout the rest of the bus. Properly grouted, they should also be easy to clean and keep the bathroom watertight.
One last thing to do
Yep.
is get a measuring tape, measure the gap between the tiles that you're sitting in right now, and then double check this and just make sure for certain that you've got enough space. Pop it in.
Yep. It's about 80 to 90, and this is 70.
Order?
I'm scared.
What?
I don't know, everything's just so permanent once you stick it down.
You see, weight isn't an issue in our bus in the way that it might be in
That's
a
so
caravan
fun.
or a different type of bus, so we weren't too concerned about that. And lastly, our local hardware stores just don't have the same affordable alternatives that some of you guys mentioned out there, so tiles seem to be our best choice. The next morning, while Eris did his favourite new hobby, stare at the cows, I began my new project of grouting the tiles. Luckily, Sam was away camping for a few days, so I could make a huge mess, as I always do. As you can see, since the last time I filmed here, I ended up sticking the bottle cap mural on, and it looks fantastic. Since this was such a messy job to do by hand, I couldn't film it for you, but you get the idea. My technique with the grout was to put a bunch on and spread it out with a squeegee. In the actual shower, I used my fingers to run it up the walls and into the corners, which was a bit trickier, but I got it done. I've got the floor and the shower all grouted. I haven't done the trees yet because I don't have grout, but the bottom of them is done. And it looks good. This should all be able to wipe off fairly easily after everything's dry, so I'm not too worried that it's gotten on some of these. Once the grout on the tiles is dry, I'll be wiping them clean. What do you think of the tile job?
I think it's fantastic. I'm so impressed. You're amazing. Like, I could not have done a better job in my dreams.
It was painful. I don't think you would have enjoyed it.
No, I would have hated it.
It was very messy.
This was a job for your brain, not for my brain.
Yeah.
Alright. Toilet paper?
Oh, you want me
Remember,
to
we're
put
testing out where it's going.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so I'm sitting here.
Amongst the forest.
It's cool because you kind of like, what we hadn't considered is that if we're driving and you need to use the toilet, like you're actually up against the wall, so you're braced against the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of nice. And the toilet paper's going to be like that.
Yeah, that looks fine.
I think so too. Maybe there.
Of course, the toilet paper is one of the finishing touches. Before we put that up, we are going to work on putting the toilet in place and actually getting it usable for the most part. So since the last time we chatted about our toilet, we have made a few changes. To properly plumb the toilet, we have had to go with a different pipe that is acid resistant, since there is going to be urine going through it, and the hose will be thicker as well. We ended up buying an agriculture contraption for this, and as Sam is about to mention, we also had to change the bucket at the back and to change where the urine diverter connects.
So we've got a rectangular bucket now because the reason we had this on the lid is because we had a larger circular bucket that we could lift this out of the way and take the bucket out. But because we're putting this permanently here, we needed a bucket that would fit snug up the back that we can still pull out with the urine diverter in place. As you can see, there's enough of a gap there. Yeah, so the plan with this is going to be using composting bags. It's going to be dry, so it won't smell. Once we're, getting full, tie the bag up, and then that just goes in landfill because it's all organic material.
As always, Sam worked while I spent the time distracted by animals. I mean, can you blame me? The calves were being so cheeky out our window. I just couldn't help but look.
Cool, so we've got a dry fit done now, which is exciting. So what I've essentially done is I've just screwed this in and we're in the testing phase. So what I've used is a BSP connection, which is for agriculture. It's for connecting hosing that's traveling long distances. So it
you know, it's pretty leak proof. But I had to kind of force it to work. So we just got some like acidic resistant tubing from Bunnings, and then I went to an ag store and got this BSP part. And we've just had to like play games with a bunch of different connectors to get it all to connect together. So we essentially have the urine diverter into a couple of different adapters into this BSP thing onto a clear hose, which is running straight through the floor down into a 25-litre tub. So in the short term, it's just going to be something that sits kind of like outside off to the side, and we'll just be going and dumping it somewhere. In future, it will be mounted onto the side of the bus, and you know, I might put like a gauge in it or something so that we know how full it is, so that we can stay on top of emptying it. I'm also going to rig it up so that air can escape down there and it won't just come back up through the tube and smell horrible. So now we've got our tub here. We've got our diverter. That hose runs straight down around the side, snug up against the wall, and then straight down through a gap that's left by the bin. So you guys can't really see because of the shadows, but there's no space that is susceptible to, you know, spillage. So I've got the hose going down to the bottom, but eventually I want to cut this away and kind of melt in a screw top for it so that we can screw this on, and then this can fall over, it can be rattling while we're driving, and it'll all like be completely contained within the tub. Part of our process with this line as well is because we're absolutely indefinitely going to have urine sitting in the line. Only when we pee, when we use it, will it fill up and then empty into here. So that means every time we use the toilet, we have to put vinegar down the line after it, which will help neutralize the smell after use, but also put a layer of vinegar at the top. So we should just smell vinegar coming back if we do have any smells like that coming back through.
That's all going to be part of using the system and figuring out how it works and what doesn't. We just know that vinegar is a good neutralizer for urine smell as far as our cat goes. So we're learning from our cat so far.
Vinegar's the best. It's perfect. All right. Well, you can go pee in it now.
Thanks, babe. That was all perfect timing because I need to pee. Of course, you're not coming with me. I'm scared.
You got this.
I got this. You got this. You can pee. I left the toilet paper far away. Alright, it is time to officially put this seat in its place so that we can comfortably use the toilet, which, by the way, I have used officially 6 times, I think, and it works pretty well. We haven't used the number 2 side of things just yet, but it's all prepped to use. It's just a matter of getting a bit of privacy on this bathroom before we do that. Now, for anyone that has bought a secondhand toilet seat that didn't come with hardware, Bunnings does just sell them in one of their aisles, and this is what I'm going to use to put the toilet seat on. There's 2 options of how you can do it. You can either use a spigot, and that's if you've got the porcelain toilet seat, but because we have wood, we can just use these bits that mount this part from the bottom up, as opposed to putting this in and mounting it from the top. And that's the difference between them. So we don't need the spigot, which is this. We're just going to mount with this. So now our bathroom not only has a working hot shower that we can use anytime we want, we now have a toilet that is functional as well, and that officially means that this bathroom is the first finished room in the bus. Of course, it still has some little things that need to be worked on, including finishing the grout on this, making sure that the toilet actually works and checking up on it, but we're so happy with how it's come out so far. Are you happy? You can come have a shower here now too. Yeah, you don't even know what you're walking into voluntarily. You too, Smelly. See you guys next time for another video. Come on, come here. Oh, come here. Yeah, this can be your bedroom if you like. Alright, go on, get out of here. Get out of here! This isn't a place for dogs.